Hello and welcome. At the time of day is November the 6th, 7:39 p.m. Eastern Time, or that of 39 minutes UTC. All bets, trades of the like within each his own risk and their own reward. I'm not going to go over much within the markets. It's a lot of just market or housekeeping within the channel. Talk about why I'm doing videos, sports, fantasy betting. I'll show you how my year was, my goals for 2021, and so on and so forth. Now, as far as Bitcoin's concerned, I mean, it's just whenever a trend just does the same over and over again, and I love this one what's doing this over and over again. I just don't feel like talking about it too much because it's just saying this, just reminding on the same things. But a couple trend line analysis I looked at tells me things might get pretty wild right now within the Bitcoin market. Let's take a look at a couple photos or a couple charts. First, just a rally for just over since this leg higher in here. Just this little leg in here. That's why I say if it doesn't break this range, if it just stays in this, it's going to... And it can't do it for that long. I just don't feel like covering Bitcoin too much. And technically speaking, I kind of hope it does stay in this range because I got a plan for how I'm not going to cover it. I mean, hint, hint, I'm going to cover it, but I'm not going to, as weird as that might sound. But this is just one of the... maybe scenarios. When I'm drawing the line, I wasn't too sure how to draw it. The upward trend just didn't work out too well. I mean, I can draw something that goes like, that doesn't even come close. It was very difficult for me to draw resistance lines. But what I did is I drew a support line, and then I matched the exact same rate of ascent. And really, it's about the best that I could do to connect these lines. But it tells me that it's at the upper end of this range. And man, if it breaks it, well, that could be pretty big. But even further than what I did next was wowzers kind of deal. This one's pretty interesting. And I'm connecting it from the original start of the breakout from late October. So therefore, I got the highs. I got this little area, 1, 2, many days on 3. It came back up to it with this correction. And now as it's playing out, it is having this breakout above. I mean, this to me looks like excitation of an uptrend line like this. This could go pretty interesting if the scenario comes in where it does break it. It could see like 45, 50, 60,000 like very fast as a possibility. But I guess the thing to teach would be, and I know a lot of you probably know this already, and I've said this before, but when breaking resistance lines to the uptrend line like this, it's a dangerous scenario. You can even make a case where you can say, well, this little bit in here, the sideways move, I mean, it's kind of like a failed move and fast move higher, but this breakout has been just phenomenal so far, to say the least. I mean, that's enough I want to cover about Bitcoin for tonight. Let's go over some of the notes in which I made. And within it, so why do I make videos? Well, the views are shitty. I've heard this for over 10 years. I put my first video up in the summer of 2007. Why you should draft John Kitna in fantasy football that year. Well, this happened to be what the first one was. You might know, but I'm a little bit of a sports fan, and I do wager on it a little bit, of course. And I'm going to show you some of the wagers and results that I've had in 2020 with my goals for 2021. But it's very interesting when I look at my view counts right now. As of just, I mean, this is unupdated. This was just like an hour or so ago. Only 4 people have seen my hockey and football video, which is, I expected it to be low, but actually this is even lower than I thought. I was expecting to be like 9 or 10 or 11 at this point. But it's only at 4. Well, it is what it is, but wow. And then 71 people have seen my last Bitcoin video. 166 on this one. 194. I was surprised that this one got 139. I was expecting like 60 or something. Litecoin 245. Bitcoin Theta 246, 241. So I mean like over 200. I mean it was like 100 before, but I expected to be that in a bull market. But I look at so many other channels. 3,000, 4,000, 6,000 views. I'm like, oh man, do I really have? I think to myself, would I even really want that many? I mean, I think on a natural market, I kind of would like to get like 4, 5, 6, 700. I remember back in the day in like 2011, 2010, doing silver videos, economic collapse updates. And it was like 3,000, 400 views, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 views consistently, at least 1,000, 2,000 on a day-to-day basis. But it is what it is. So in continuing, I make them because I think anyway, I am damn good. And I only do things different from other people, especially when you talk about stuff like exponential type of market analysis, how I use the 18 average, the Fibonacci analysis, just the measure in which I use, I feel is very unique. So that's probably a big reason why I'm still doing them. I have a goal that I recently put out to give 100 plays and kick ass. So I mean, that's just gonna. I got 3 in right now, 1 and 2 record, but I'm actually up because I hit like a huge good plus price on my win. And I got a couple plays probably coming this weekend. Continuing further, ad revenue from YouTube is a very, very, very little source of income for me now. And always really has been. Well, sort of. I mean, when I was getting 3,000-4,000 views, I was making a few $100 a month. But now I'm making a few dozens of dollars a month, which is like, yeah, just nothing. So it's not really why I'm making the videos by any means. I guess I make videos for the same reason I play fantasy sports, to win the game competition. Just show that I'm just that damn good, I guess. That's something I'd like to think and do. I am better than you and will show you via the content game. And how do you do? Question mark. And it's just part of it. Ain't bragging if you back it and you do it. If you ain't bragging if you do it and you back it up. There you go. That's how I look at it. So when I talk about the fantasy hockey, I'm going to show charts about that. Yeah, I was talking beforehand I was going to do it when it happened, and I did it. I figured networking would a networking source from this, and that is not how I figured I was going to get a networking source from doing this YouTube stuff for the last few years in many different ways, whether it be through charts, sports, one way or another. I guess that's another part of the 100 plays too, because that really is within it. However, nothing has even transformed at all. But I mean, given the situation in which if somebody's like, hey, I got a business proposal, I could really need your help for this, there's a damn good chance I'm going to be like, okay, it's not going to work for this one reason, picky based on the duties. What is it that you want me to do? I might not like or want to do it. And then the price, we might not be able to come to an agreement on what would be a fair price. And I got so many other things I got transforming that I want to do as well in the future. And I don't need income either, but if it's available, I'll go for it. Okay, so if I was to just be a teacher in something based on what I'm good at, these are just 4 different things. And one is portfolio bankroll management. And that's really just, that's even just everyday's investment, like your everyday cash, your liquid money. What do you do with it and stuff like that? That's part of your bankroll. So even though it's not in a bank, you get your own bank. If my Trezor wallet is and I can, which is a hardware wallet for cryptos, I named my wallet DER Bank. That's my bank. I am my own bank. And that would be things I would be teaching, of course, within it. So many different things. And then where you go within, like you could be betting on gambling in different ways, how you manage that. Because fantasy sports, oh man, I just dominate that game. And if I were to teach somebody, I would literally treat you like I'm the drug dealer, but in transparency. How much does it cost to start? Well, it's damn free. Nothing. So if you're interested, let me know. I mean, I'll put a video out tomorrow. In fact, if you really want to get into it, it's a big advantage to get into it really as quick as possible this weekend, at least for free rewards back, because that's what I'm going to be talking about soon. But really, that's not that big of a deal. And yeah, 0 to start. If you really, really want information on my hockey strategy, it would not be cheap. It's going to be minimum 4 figures. But you know what, though? You can try to figure it on your own, because I know how to I've already thought if I do ever have somebody, I kind of know how to teach it without giving my strategy away. But I mean, it's going to be up to you to know how to win games too on that level. I can give you a few different strategies here and there, but you'd have to know how to win other games. But I can really control that. I can teach you how to reduce your rake and how to manage just a lot of different things that would work out well in trying to build a bankroll. Market trading, something I would do. I'm definitely not the greatest at it, but I can definitely answer so many questions. And as far as a lot of this stuff, a lot of it was just based on this, and the information links I put in is really just your truck driver, your dentist, whatever. what they would do to move their cryptos around, just stuff like that. And poker, $1 million man used to be a wrestler. Everyone's got a price for the $1 million man. The whole point of it is how low will you go for this type of price, or if this is something that I want in the real world, oh my goodness, this has got to be so expensive. I mean, I know you're big, I'm going to have to pay a lot. And I'm not saying that it's, in fact, I'm not even close to a top 100 player in poker in the world, but even 1,000, I don't know about that, but I only talked to a few people, never played poker in the United States outside of Niagara Falls, never been to Vegas in my life. But if it came up that somebody really wanted to learn, maybe, but probably not. I get bored of poker pretty fast. I actually put a video out and it was like, I don't even feel like making it anymore. But for me, when it comes to, if it was a poker game where, say I was to go to any casino on random, if I were to sit down at a regular table, I say to myself, I'm the best player here. And I know that I am the best player here. I'm going to show it. I'm going to prove it to myself, prove it to others, and I'm going to get the job done. One thing I always do is I don't get frustrated when I make a mistake because I know that's going to happen in my games, and I don't make many. And one of the reasons I don't make many is obviously when you're experienced, but when you notice you make that, okay, don't make that mistake, I say to myself, don't do it again, and you just control, and you realize if you limit I was thinking this at the into 2019, you limit your mistakes. If you know they're going to come and they're minimal, it's going to be great, and they were below what I thought they would have been. So I'm going to show you my chart. I'm going to first show you a chart of my 2020 year in daily fantasy and how much revenue that I made and how much income. And well, here it is. I made about 35 grand. Not bad, but this is what I figure, like a low level average year's income. And it all happened at once, as you can see. Each number represents a day. There was 362 days of the 365 that I played. I took 3 days off. Granted, those are probably part of these days in here, which were COVID related when the sports were in complete lockdown. But as you can see, roughly at around day number like 212 or 13 of the year, which was start of the NHL playoffs, that was August and September, I believe. Yeah, August and September. And just fantastic games. And then you just settle it down as well. So not that shabby. And I plan to do it again. I want to increase my gains and see if I can do better. Hockey season starts in 7 days. Now, as far as how much my wagers were during this time, that was the next chart that I made. And when the season was going on, I never bet more than $500 a day. Many days I came close, and oftentimes I was betting $100, $200 a day, pretty much every day. And then the lockdown happened. And then it starts to go up again. This is when Korean baseball came in, as well as Major League Baseball. And then roughly in here, when these things pick up, that means hockey came in. I got to the point where I was betting every day over $500, $1,000 a day. And then it got up to like $3,000 on my top day, $2,000 this day. I bet over $1,000 like constantly in here. And then the NHL season ended, and then baseball was going on afterwards. So that was getting some decent sized bets. And then you get the odd flip here. That's football season. And well, my football bets are going down. And that's just taking some of your profits, playing some of your tickets that you have that you're cashing in for different games where you do such. And then this thing will just start to come back up soon, starting in about a week from now. I got plans on how I'm going to play the first 2 days, then the next few days after that. My strategy isn't going to work the greatest on the first couple of days, so I reduced the risk a bit. But I got other strategies and other games that I want to win, and I could put higher stakes into that. So these are just some of the numbers that I had for, but I put down in here. I made $75,171 in wagers, profiting $35,983. And what that doesn't even show is how much I got back in rewards, and that a rake back, which was near $2,000, which would have made my ROI even over that of 50%. Which, to do this on a grind over the long-term time frame, which over 100,000 lineups in fantasy sports were made throughout the year. And I'm probably going to be right back at it again. Hockey season starting 7 days from now. Every single day, I'm probably going to be making. Well, I'll start off making $100, $200, $300 a day to start. And we'll just have some. I'll have some fun with it and try to improve my record. But when I talk about poker, I think I'm the best player at the table. Well, if I go to a big room where there's like 4,000 people, or a big room, but a big tournament, I know there's 4,000 people playing. I know I'm damn good and amongst the best, but there's probably a few people better. However, if I'm playing my hockey game, I don't care who's playing. I mean, we could have 20,000 people. I think I'm the best player in the world at that exact particular thing, which is daily fantasy sports NHL showdown games. I'm the best in the world. So I don't care how many people play. There's no one better than me. And that's what I truly believe, and then I go in and I act accordingly. Now, what's best upon this is I know my weakness, which is, well, that of just being able to find extra. I mean, maybe I don't know my own weakness. I do know my weakness. Being able to find extra work on player situational stuff. So what can I add to my repertoire in that way? Because I have pretty much, maybe I don't have many weaknesses at it. And that's what's fun about it, is you just try to do everything you can to improve your game. And if 2021 is good for fantasy as well, especially even cryptocurrencies as well, then I'll be fortunate enough to add more of these beautiful, shiny little pieces. Because what was so fortunate about the fantasy sports run is a lot of this was going on when the crypto markets were boring as anything. So it gave me more things to do, as trading was something I didn't do too often. But most importantly for me is, like everyone else in this world, or pretty much everyone else, I have to buy food, pay for rent, buy gas, buy this, buy that. And that costs cash. And I probably would have had to, whether I like it or not, I'd be forced to just take out the minimum that I need to at a cryptocurrency to suffice some of the bills, especially when you start to live. Well, I guess you could always reduce your payments, but you spend more here and there because you can afford it on this, and that. But I never had to pull really anything. I didn't pull really anything out of cryptocurrencies much this year at all. A couple Amazon bills here and there, and even now for it, I'm like, okay, I'm looking at my ratio of cryptos versus that of silver. I'm thinking, oh, I got to get a bit soon here. But you know what? I think Bitcoin's going to keep going up a bit more, and we're seeing it, the break of resistance there. Litecoin, man, maybe when Litecoin gets to 210, Theta gets to $3 and change, I could take this much Theta, take this much Bitcoin, this much Litecoin. We'll turn it into Litecoin, basically, and then I'll go to silver, gold, bull, buy some silver. And how do you do? And then we'll wait till the next leg higher just to help improve the ratio a little bit and get myself some of my favorite commodity, which is that of physical silver. Obviously, my icon on here, Canadian maple leaf. It's been like that for, I don't know, 5-6 years or something. It's my heaviest owned coin of everything. I own hundreds and hundreds of them. A lot of them. I mean, people own less, people own more, whatever. I just play the game. You play the game to win. And that's basically how I look at it. Jason Forum, one of his videos, one of his old school trading sessions, came up with an amazing saying. Plan your trade, then trade your plan, meaning you make a plan, you validate your plan, and then you execute it. But as you're executing, as you're going through, there's always going to be modifications. So in the world of fantasy sports, whatever sport you are, there's always going to be game meta changes in two different ways. One, in how the actual game that you're playing is being played, and two, how the people that you're playing lineups with and against, how they play. and understanding those things and how to act upon the situation. Then you look at your game plan and you realize, how do I improve upon it? What can I do to remove my mistakes? What extra advantages, features can I do to give me such a better attack at this or this and that? And well, I mean, 50% return that I'm going through, and I'm trying to beat that number this year, and I think I can. I mean, that's a tough number to beat, but I definitely want to break that number of 35,000. I want to make near 100 grand to $1 million a year in that fantasy realm. But in order to make the $1 million, that means I have to win basketball. And I mean, this is what's been. I mean, it's so early, I can still do it, and this is. I can't say it's laziness, but part of it is I should be working harder and trying to figure out how to win basketball. And there's no TV watching to figure that part out. That's meaning watching games, watching whatever type of networks for information. That's about getting information of how they play the game, which is the people. Creating spreadsheets of historical games, which is like, okay, there was a Chicago Bulls versus Toronto Raptors as an example. I can now take the information from that, and I can, I can then download it and try to come up with parameters and see, okay, what kind of things can I figure out to give me a meta strategy to win, kind of deal. And that's on me for not doing it. And you know what? I don't even see me getting into that soon because it's another week from now, and I'm just going to focus mainly on the hockey aspect and how to just have a good year. Thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.